Welcome to I Have the Power, a He-Man vidcast. From the secrets within Castle Grayskull to the horrors atop Snake Mountain, we cover everything Masters of the Universe, including action figures, animation, live-action film, and comics. With your hosts, Adam and Chris.
Welcome to another episode of I Have the Power, a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe podcast and vidcast. As always, I'm your host, Adam, and with me is my co-host, Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well. We are recording another Masters of the Universe podcast. These are getting more and more frequent, and I'm kind of happy about that because then we have a lot to talk about. So I'm doing well. This was supposed to be already recorded last week, but we had to delay because the flu bug or whatever it was passing through my house and got to me, and
That's
so
nice.
yeah, well, you may consider it that, but I'm better now, or getting on the way to being fully better, and it actually works out that we waited because we got some more news items to talk about in that week period, so that it worked out. But let's get right into it. The cast continues to fill out for the Travis Knight Masters of the Universe film set up at Amazon/MGM. Or is it just Amazon MGM? There's no slash, I believe. But anyway.
I think Amazon just owns them, so I think it might just be Amazon.
Could be.
And it's not like a theatrical release, right? It's just Amazon?
It is going to get a theatrical release. Yes, it is.
Okay.
They negotiated a window for it to get a theatrical release.
Okay. Well, yeah, then when it goes theatrical, it will be distributed by MGM then.
And like these movies, whenever you get a streamer like Prime or Netflix and they do a theatrical release, it's largely to drive people to whatever streaming service in question.
Yeah.
So I think the viewership, when it eventually gets to Prime, will actually be more important for Amazon than whatever it does theatrically. Much like Red One, for example.
Yeah, but I think hopefully this will be better than Red One and bigger.
It's cheaper than Red One, I'll just say that.
It is cheaper than Red One, yeah. I mean, The Rock isn't in it, so that helps right away.
So it shaves $20 million right off the table. But no, we do have, as I said, the cast is filling out, and we have the first two editions I want to talk about is Fistor will be making an appearance in this film. I actually never thought that would happen, but Fistor will be in this film, and he will be played by, and I'll probably butcher this name, but Johannes Oker Johansson will be playing Fistor, and he is apparently in Captain America Brave New World, which is out now.
Is he?
Apparently.
Okay, I gotta look that up now.
He was on the press junket, and he was talking about being excited for filming of the movie.
Oh yeah, he is in this. Okay.
So that's
Sorry. Yeah, I remember him now.
that's cool that he has experience in this arena. And then we also have the Sorceress has been cast and will be played by, I want to say, a sci-fi household name at this point, meaning science fiction, not sci-fi network, the genre. And that is Morena Baccarin will play the Sorceress. Of course, our audience will know her from various things like Firefly, Gotham, Deadpool 1, 2, and 3. So I really, first of all, I can't really comment on the Fisto casting in the sense that I haven't really seen yet, or I don't recognize the actor from much of anything because I haven't seen Brave New World yet. But just visually, he looks like if I take an image of Fisto from Revelation/Revolution, and look at this guy, he has the look to play Fisto. But on the Marina Baccarin front, I think this is a fantastic casting. She wasn't on my list, like I didn't have her in mind, but now seeing it in print, I think it's a solid casting. So what do you think about this particular casting, Chris?
I like it. I think that what they're doing with the cast is very cool. They're using an unknown for He-Man himself and surrounding him with these popular names. Of course, Leto being the most popular because he does have an Oscar. People forget that, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
But like Alison Brie is really popular in our circles for like nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, Morena, she's really popular. Idris Elba is a whole thing onto himself. I always forget Camila Mendes.
Yeah.
She's getting there, but they're really. It's such a cool cast because you have these mix of different popularity levels, and I want to say that Morena is probably going to be on the more popular side of things, just because the Deadpool movies. I think more people are familiar with her face.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. And again, the casting, the way they're structuring the casting, it kind of has that, Superman the movie, Batman Begins kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's kind of what I get from it. Like they've looked at what works,
right? As opposed to, Hollywood heartthrob that's known to everybody as Prince Adam /He-Man.
Yeah, like they didn't go with Timothy Chalamet as Prince Adam, and then Tila's Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's Randor. They didn't do any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I would have taken Arnold as Randor, just saying.
Speaking, now that you mentioned Randor, that's the other casting that dropped. We have He-Man's parents in the form of Charlotte Riley and James Purfoy will be playing King Randor and Queen Marlena. Very much character actors. They're the kind of actors, at least for me, where I've seen them in stuff, and I know I've seen them in stuff, but their names don't like jump out at me as like, oh, I know who they are.
I'm on IMDb right now trying because I know James Purfoy from something. I don't know what, but I know it. I've seen stuff with him.
Right. But again, we're getting King Randor and Queen Marlena, and that to me says something, which I'll get into when I get into some of the things I've seen online. So the other bits of news is that the movie is now filming because we've had a couple of set pictures of Nicholas Galitzine on set as Prince Adam being seemingly arrested by what apparently is Oklahoma City police. At least in the context of the film. They're in London, so they're not in Oklahoma City. So
very different when we talk London. I've been to Oklahoma City. It does not look like London.
But mutually with the revelation that he's being arrested on Earth, there's a segment, a portion of the online He-Man fandom that instantly throws up their hands and, oh no, it's all on Earth and this is going to be terrible.
We are doomed.
To which I say, this is an out of context set of pictures from what is largely one scene in the movie. From that, we cannot extrapolate that the whole movie is going to take place on Earth. Number one. Number two, have you seen Power Sword? Because the Power Sword looks like it's right out of the 80s Filmation cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
To the detail, to the letter. Chris just sent me a zoomed-in version, and it's out of the, like literally, it's like, give me the cell from the cartoon, and I'm going to put it through a 3D printer and make you the sword. That's what it looks like they did.
I can't wait for the replicas they're going to sell.
And if it's not insanely expensive, I will buy one. Because as a kid, I wanted one desperately.
Yeah.
I never had.
Well, I don't think they had them when we were kids. Like, decent quality.
And it's right behind me. You see the dragon dagger?
They had those when we were kids, though.
I had one as a kid. My mom gave it away, so I had to do my due diligence and buy one back. I digress. Anyway.
I had the White Ranger sword.
But anyway, I wanted the Power Sword, never got one. Had just about everything else, but not that. So if it's reasonably, because I've seen some replica that are in like the thousands of dollars range.
Yeah, those are real blades.
Unless it friggin' transports me to actual Eternia, I can't afford that. And even if it did, I still can't afford that. But I digress. So if it's reasonably priced, I'll buy it. So the Power Sword looks great. Mm-hmm. We also have Prince Adam in a pink shirt and a white shirt underneath that shirt. Again, not exactly the same like the sword, but it's evoking the Filmation imagery.
We see you, Travis. We see what you're doing.
And the other thing, like, folks, Fisto's in this thing. The Sorceress, He-Man's Eternian parents. Well, his mother's from Earth, but his Eternian father. Do you think they're all just going to come down to Earth and that's it? We're not going to see Eternia at all? Because that's how some people are acting, and it's utter nonsense. Now, there are rumors that this thing starts out with He-Man on Earth. And depending on if you believe the full extent of the rumors, that he was either sent here as a baby to protect him from Skeletor, to hide him from Skeletor, and then he has to find his way back to Eternia and rediscover the fact that he is also He-Man and all the powers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to end up on Eternia. I have no doubt about that.
No, but I do think there is cause for concern. And I'm not saying that I'm concerned, because I'm really not. But I can understand how somebody would be for a couple of reasons. One... sorry, what?
The 87 film, which we're going to review, but yeah.
Yeah, the 87 film, like, okay, that was primarily on... Yeah, it's book-ended with Eternia, and we do see...
I did it out last night. It's about 26 minutes of Eternia.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd count it as Eternia, because it's really just a throne room.
26 minutes, nonetheless.
And then they're like in this weird hill country that could have been anywhere. It doesn't even look like Eternia.
Actually, I don't know. It could have been Oklahoma.
That could have been. That is what Oklahoma looks like.
Okay, oh, there you go.
Yeah, so, but, I can understand, okay, because we've had that. And I think a lot of us are so, what's the word? We've wanted a live-action film for so long. We've had so many false starts. It's like, well, we're finally getting it now. Oh, wait a minute, you're doing this again? So I get it. But at the same time, I think we need to, or this is my thought process on it. You and I, we're sold.
Yeah.
We like this. We know what it is. But to an average moviegoer or like a kid who's never seen He-Man, you might need to hook them with something, and you can do that with the Earth part of it.
Right.
And also, like you mentioned, there are so many Eternian characters cast. Right. There's no way we're spending let's say the movie's 2 hours. There's no way we're spending 90 minutes on Earth. It's just not going to happen. I can't see that happening. There's too many characters.
That's my concern, is the amount of characters that are Eternian set. Like what's the Sorcerer's going to do on Earth?
Yeah, and maybe you will have the invasion part of it. Maybe they will come to Earth, but that doesn't mean they won't finish in Eternia.
To me, to me, and I think you're in the same boat. It's the balance of
Right.
Earth to Eternia ratio.
And I feel like we're going to have a pretty solid balance here. A big indicator for me, and some of these set photos kind of put to rest in a way, he has the sword.
Yeah.
So that tells me...
And it's not just an average looking, like here's generic sword number 45. Like, it's the sword. Like,
right. Like, he's already got the sword. So Eternia is alive and well.
yeah.
That's why I don't think it's going to be the case of he was banished there as a baby. I'm assuming it was later on, and I think maybe he grew up there, but I don't think he was sent there as a kid. I think it has something to do with Skeletor. That's my guess.
Even if whether he was sent there as a kid or he grew up there as a kid or was sent there for his own protection, they're clearly doing a riff on the Superman thing, which again is an easy
hook
entry point for people that aren't familiar with every
exactly
of this one. And that's who, like, we got to think, because even the people that are acting like, their house is burning and the sky is falling because he's been arrested by earthly police. You guys are going to be there opening night.
Yeah.
That's you. You're trying to get average Joe.
Yeah, as much as like I would love, like, this was my thing, and I think I told you this before. I really wanted Masters of the Universe to be treated like Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Give it that much attention, that much love, and that much, you look at the lore and you just pick from it because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we can't get that because you do have to sell the mainstream audience, which is fine because they're still giving us what we want to see. You gotta make some consolations here. I think that's kind of the way all these things go with any property that we look forward to.
There are going to be changes.
Right, you get kind of roll with it.
The thing for me that I always look for is there enough of the core essential element of the material that I love there?
Yeah, and I don't want to use the old, well, you still got the cartoons, but we do. We still have new stuff being made.
Yeah, and again, aside from the fact that he's got the actual power sword from the cartoon, he's wearing pink and white, all these things. By the way, I just want to point out, Nicholas Galitzine looks like human, like he looks bulked.
He looks like he eats steroids. So
for everybody that, when he was first cast, oh, he's too skinny, this is going to be terrible. Some of you are probably the same people complaining about the Earth stuff. You were wrong the first time around. Maybe, just maybe, you want to hold off on the jumping off a cliff.
You know what's funny? So you sent me the set photos, right? I was looking like, okay, he's gigantic. Yeah. What did he look like before? Because I know we talked about it and I'd seen his name, but I never really looked at him. Like, what does he look like? Because I just figured, okay, he's just He-Man, whatever. But I went back on his Instagram, I was looking, I'm like, wow, this guy really, he got the assignment,
That's a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the other thing, here's another reason why I'm not worried. At least at this point in time, which is, 4, 5 set pictures, 6 set pictures?
There's a lot, actually. I found a lot more.
But whatever the case may be, it's all from that one scene, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
At the end of the day, right now, I got 2 words for you. 2 words, 1 name. Travis Knight. He delivered what is arguably the best live-action Transformers film in Bumblebee. And despite the constraints of, hey, you guys have to be on Earth because this is sort of a prequel to the Bay stuff, and we have to establish the connectivity there. Despite all that, he took it back to what a lot of the OG fans were complaining about. The look of the original Transformers designs.
Mm-hmm.
He did show Cybertron. You wish we could have spent the whole movie there, but because of, obviously budgetary reasons, they couldn't. But like it looked like Cybertron, you know what I mean?
I was really impressed with Bumblebee. Yeah, I'm not really a big Transformers guy, to be honest, but that movie was something special.
So really now, like if he gave that much love to Bumblebee and tried to infuse as much of the original IP in as he could, I have no doubt that he's going to do the same here. Until they give me a reason to doubt the guy, I'm not going to doubt the guy.
No, I think, but it's fan anxiety. We all get anxious. We want it to be good, so I get it. But I think that
I
everybody
get
needs
it.
to.
I get it to a degree. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think though everybody needs to take a step back and let's wait and see.
Like I want Battle Cat. I'll tell you right now. Am I going to be disappointed if I don't see Battle Cat? Yeah, because I've been waiting since I saw the first movie.
Honestly, I'll feel bad if you don't get Battle Cat because I know how much you want Battle Cat.
So I have Battle Cat. It's on another shelf from Revelation, the big one, and he's in his box, and I'm looking at him right now, and I want to see him on screen, but until there's a quote that tells me, hey, 80% of this movie's on Earth, I'm not going to worry until I see evidence that this is mostly an Earthbound story. I'm not concerned.
It doesn't even make sense for it to be all Earthbound. And from what we do know about it, and all the rumors we have heard, it just sounds like he's gonna get his bearings back and head to Eternia.
Exactly.
So I'm not really too concerned with it taking mostly on Earth. Though, when you said you got 2 words for everybody, I had to stop for a second because as a wrestling fan, we know what that usually means.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I'm not that.
I wasn't sure if you were about to tell everybody something.
No, I understand. Again, I understand the fan trepidation because I too watched the '87 movie. We're going to review it. We happen to like the '87 movie, admitting that there's problems with it. We can still like it.
It is what it is.
However, but what I'm just saying is the level of overreaction. Let's just taper it down, folks.
Calm it down.
Look at all the positive things. Right now, the positives are far outweighing any negatives. And that's what we have.
And I'm sure we'll see some more stuff soon. Now that they are filming, I think. I guess it was the actor who's in Captain America. I've already forgotten his name, but that guy, the really Russian name or German, whatever it is,
or Scandinavian of some design, anyway.
That dude. So when he said he's filming in a couple weeks, I think he means his stuff is in a couple weeks because they are filming. It's confirmed. I've seen it. You've seen it.
So who knows? Travis Knight might want to release something official.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
The Eternia portion, right?
Yeah, I'm expecting we'll get like an official photo of some sort fairly soon. I've already got what I want out of it. Like as far as like the pre-production stuff, I've seen what I needed to. I saw the sword.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw the sword, and I love the casting of Evelyn and Skeletor, which were my big sticking points. I'm really on board with both of them, so I'm so excited. This is really happening. All these other castings are just gravy, as they say.
That's where I'm at too. Is that for the first time in 38 years?
Mm-hmm.
A He-Man and the Masters of the Universe film of live action is filming. That's something to be excited about.
And it's with people who actually care.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that.
Well, one thing too that I will point out, there was another picture earlier in the week of Nicholas Gal.
The workout picture.
Yeah, and
Camila Mendes
working out with the guy who's playing Goatman, Half Thor Jorgensen or something. Also, the guy's name is Half Thor, and he's bigger than the actor playing live action Thor. I just want to point out that. So, is he really Half Thor, or is he more? Should his name be Full Thor?
I don't think he's real.
Yeah. I think his name should be Full Thor, not Half Thor. But I digress. Anyway,
Horseman.
Yeah. Anyway, they were filming and they were in a tent, and one of the images on the right side of the wall, and yes, this is how much I paid attention to this, was an animation cell from the 80s cartoon of He-Man and Battle Cat.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Why would that be there if 90% of the movie was going to be on Earth?
I was fixated on Tila has red hair.
After I got over that excitement, my eye, for whatever, maybe I have side eye going on or whatever, but my eyes drifted to the right-hand side of the picture, and that's what I saw.
No, I went from, wow, that guy's freaking huge, to, oh, this guy's even bigger. Hey, she has red hair. And then it was done.
Half Thor, it should be full Thor, but I digress. His parents might want to have a word with me about that. But yeah, let's just be excited that we're getting a film. Only worry when we have to start worrying, and that's not today. So I'm excited, and I can't wait for more imagery to come out. Hopefully, it's some official stills.
I just want to see Skeletor.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So
I can't wait to see how they, because after just rewatching the movie, I'm so excited to see what they do with Skeletor.
And I'm like, damn. Anyway, we'll get into the movie in a second. But
yes,
let's be excited. A new Masters of the Universe film is in production. It's happening. And at least that part of it is a dream come true.
Travis Knight might have the power, man. I don't know.
I think he does, because he's the only one to have gotten this thing filming, so he does have some sort of power.
That's one last thing I want to touch on, and then we could do the movie if you want. Move on. The Masters of the Universe has had so many false starts, like one after another. We've heard all these rumored versions of it. We've heard it was going to take place all on Earth, and in one version, they've cast He-Man before. It just kept happening over and over for the last 38 years. Even its sequel got turned into Universal Soldier, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
This guy, Travis Knight, found a way to make it work and is making it happen. That alone should give you some kind of confidence that there's something good here. You know?
That and the all the stuff that Amazon MGM had to go through to procure the rights.
Right. There is a lot that got this film to happen. And it's this version that did it with this director. So
Amazon could have said, hey, we're touching this with a 10-foot pole. Why do we have to?
Right. It's not like they just say, okay, well, let's get Brett Ratner to give it a try.
It's not like Amazon said, we have no franchises. Let's just pick this up for fun. They didn't need to do that.
No, they saw the bird, said, okay, let's do it.
So
just something to keep in mind.
That's all. Just get hyped for the fact that more info is coming, more imagery is coming, and we'll be here to break it down when all that does happen. But we're going to take a quick break, and then on the other side of that break, we're going to go back to 1987 and talk that Masters of the Universe film. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? It's the Emerald Enthusiast. For all of your multiverse viewing and listening needs, check out our shows, which include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, the Marvel Universe, and the DC Universe, including the Emerald Echo podcast. You can check us out on Podbean, and remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. That's the Multiverse Musings Podcast Network. From the first podcast to the last.
And we're back. And as promised, we are going to revisit the 1987 film Masters of the Universe. Yes, this was a big one in terms of people looking forward to it back in the day. Unfortunately, it didn't do what I think anyone involved with the film hoped it would do. But it seems to have, over the decades, gained a sort of, I don't know if cult following is the right word for it.
I would say cult following, yeah.
Okay. But it seems to be, people have accepted the film for what it is and are are finding enjoyment in it now that they didn't back when it was, in first release.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, from my from my perspective, I think looking at it, I think Dolph Lundgren is a solid choice for He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially in that day and age. I mean, what actor could you have gotten to play that role other than maybe him or Schwarzenegger?
I was going to say it was going to be him or Arnold. That's where this was going.
Right? And I thought Frank Langella was fantastic as Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
That was great casting. I thought, is it Meg Ryan? Right? Meg.
Oh, Courtney Cox.
Who's the sorceress? Sorry.
The sorceress.
Evelyn. Meg.
Oh, Meg Foster.
Yeah, what did I say? Meg Ryan.
You were close.
One of the Megs. Anyway, Meg Foster was.
A Meg.
Yeah. Not the Meg, as in the giant thing. But yeah, she was great as Evelyn. I thought she played the part like that was right out of the as close as we were going to get back then to the animation as possible, right? And I think what struck me about Meg Foster the most was her eyes.
Yeah.
Like that really sold the Evelyn aspect of it. I thought here the sorceress, who didn't have much to do other than be trapped and
stand there,
drained of her energy. I thought that was solid casting, even though she didn't have much to do. I even liked, despite he wasn't as authoritative or impressive, the actor who played Man-at-Arms, I thought did a decent job.
Okay.
Wasn't as great as, like I said, wasn't as good as the Dolph Lundgren or Frank Langella casting, but it was solid. I thought the take on Tila, what was her name? Something free. What was the actress that played?
I have no idea.
Nothing against the actors. I just thought the depiction of Tila was off. For the most part, she didn't do enough for me. She was underused per se. And I did look. One of the things I did like that a lot of people didn't like, Gwildor as a stand-in for Oracle was fine for me. It didn't bother me that it was Gwildor instead of Oracle. And like the little bit of the Eternia stuff that we got, like all 26 minutes of it, I liked. I wanted more of that. 100%. Like the detail in the throne room set. Now, granted, that was the only scene that we got on Eternia.
I was thinking about we got that war room thing that Skeletor goes in once.
Yeah.
So we got that.
The detail in that set was great. Like I liked it. Like I really did. I just wanted more of all that.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying, Eternia is not a thing in this movie.
It's just
It's just the throne room. It's that one scene in a war room, and then some mountains that look like Oklahoma or Arizona. It could go either way.
Yeah.
Though, for what it is in Eternia, I thought it was cool how it has this old style to it. Like, it looks old, but then they did have all the tech stuff.
Yeah, which kind of mimics what we see
right
in the material, where it's a mix of sword and sandals and tech.
Yeah, like Skeletor had that thing on his arm that is some kind of electronic that's constantly moving, like a
Yeah,
light thing that's constantly going
yeah,
on. So there was a lot to it. There's a lot of detail in the sets
yeah,
and the character designs.
yeah. No, yeah. So I just wish we had more of that.
Yeah, because when you go to the Earth stuff is also it's kind of plain. Like I get that they probably didn't have a large budget for this,
Right.
but it is kind of plain looking, and it's interesting how the streets are completely empty.
Yeah,
There is not a soul in that town, and I think it's somewhere in California.
I
It
think
seems,
so. Yeah.
and it's like it's just dead. It is more dead than Santa Carla from the Lost Boys.
You know what? You're right about how few people there are in the street. Like, there's nobody.
It's Charlie, Lubick, and that's it.
By the way, was it a go-to prerequisite that if you wanted to make a movie in the '80s, you had to cast the principal from Back to the Future? I think
Yeah.
it was.
If it's not him, he looks really close.
I think there was like a Hollywood rule that he had to be in from.
Well, I think you always need an angry bald guy
Yeah, yeah,
in the '80s.
yeah.
But though, about the casting of this, I like Dolph Lundgren as He-Man.
I do. Yeah,
I think he does a great job, and I really like Man at Arms actually.
yeah. Which was like again, I just wanted a little bit more a heft, like a
More of a general type thing.
yeah, a little bit more, not much, just a little bit, but
He's very much just follow He-Man's lead in this.
right.
And then by default, Tila is, well, what is everybody else doing? I'm just going to get mad randomly at different times.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the way she was so tempered. I didn't really care for that, but it was the '80s. It is what it is. I think the best casting though is hands down Frank Langella as Skeletor.
I mean, that was so good. He was so intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt that okay, this guy could take over the universe and win. Like he can and succeed, and he did for a portion of the film.
He did. He held his own pretty well, and you would say, well, the makeup might have hindered his performance. It actually didn't.
I think it helped him.
Yeah, Frank Langella is one of those cases where you have a character who's caked in makeup, and they kind of rise above the makeup, if you will.
He bought into it. Like he was all in.
Oh yeah, and also what I thought was very cool about it is, I think when this movie was filmed, Frank was already, I don't want to say he was like geriatric, but he was on the older side.
Yeah.
He's moving around and doing stuff, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Skeletor in this movie. I think Skeletor is one of my favorite villains, period. Yeah. And this movie is partially why, because I love this Skeletor. I also love Evil Lynn.
Yes.
And the eyes really do sell it. And I always thought she was beautiful. That's just me. Yeah. Like if I had a pen, I'd click it. I thought she was amazing. There you go. Thanks, Meg. I always have loved Evil Lynn, but the way that she's carried throughout the movie, she's kind of this silent evil in a way because she's very stoic.
Right.
I always thought it was creepy, and the scene where she changes into Courtney Cox's mom, like
that was so creepy.
It was. She's very, very creepy. I love it.
How cruel is that to make somebody believe hey, the movie you thought was dead is real.
I do have a nitpick about that scene, but we'll get to that later. And another thing that I really liked about it was actually Lubick. I thought Lubick was fun.
He was great. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, Lubick is fun. And so, I saw this, I think, before I'd seen any of the animated stuff.
Okay.
So, to me, this was Masters of the Universe. And I didn't know Gwildor was a stand-in. I thought Gwildor was a character from the show. So when I'd watch, I was like, well, where's Gwildor? I didn't know, they just couldn't use Orko. So I love Gwildor too, was my point.
Yeah, and it's cool that Kevin Smith put him in to Revelation/Revolution as a as a nod.
Yeah, I like that.
87.
He's a fun character.
Yeah, it is, and like if you take away the gripe of the majority of this film takes place on Earth. If you just think about it from the plot and Skeletor's plot, it's a very believable and acceptable plot for a Masters of the Universe story.
I think that if there were more care put into this is a solid plot, actually. It makes sense. Skeletor is trying, he found a way to beam into the palace and take it over. Cool. Then he finds a way to, he was trying to get rid of He-Man. He-Man escapes. Cool. And then Skeletor is doing his thing. Oh, wait a minute. I need that guy to finish ruling. We'll go find him. It all kind of adds up just fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like a very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cohesive?
It's cohesive, but it's a plot point that is very true to Masters of the Universe mythology. And
it's authentic.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. So when you take away the just the fact that it's 90% of it's set on Earth, I like the plot of this, like the whole plot of this. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was fine. There was, you mentioned that a lot of the Earth stuff is just plain.
It's planned, yeah.
I agree with that.
It's planned looking.
But there was the fight once they get on those discs, the flying orbs and discs. Mm-hmm. That's some cool fights. That fight was pretty cool.
I love the flying disc stuff. That was cool.
Yeah. Obviously that's the color what it was. They were aping a little bit of Star Wars.
Oh, Skeletor's stormtroopers? Come on, it's Star Wars.
Again,
I saw this before Star Wars too, so I didn't know they were riffing on Star Wars.
Yeah, but that was the 80s, right? And that comes with, you have to understand that this had because it was canon, right? Had a minuscule budget.
They did, and I think for most of it they do well, but there are so many, like, when Skeletor is introduced is exactly the way Darth Vader is introduced.
Yeah.
They just they aped it completely, and it works.
But that's canon. That's what they did.
It's what they were known for. Hey,
shtick, you know what I mean? It was reportedly, the reason why the third act battle between Skeletor and He-Man takes place in darkness in the throne room was because they ran out of budget, because the budget was part of their budget was given to Superman 4.
Oh. See, I'd like to believe it was a creative choice because I think it looks amazing the way they framed it.
Yeah, and only because the director agreed, like he wanted to finish it so bad that he's like, look, I get that we have next to no money, I'll do it in darkness. So I'll do it in the dark. I'll figure out a way to do it.
And it looked great.
But again, just to tell people that the reason why there was, next to no Eternia is because their budget was slashed a part of the way into filming and given to Superman 4.
Well, even like Castle Grayskull does not exist. It's a picture that they keep zooming in on.
And in look, I thought it looked pretty neat, Castle Grayskull, but there was still the Motu fan in me, and I hope Travis Knight does this. I just want to see it the way it looks. Just give me the classic looking. I want the truth. Look, you gave me the sword, and I'm very appreciative of the sword. Now I need you to do the same with Castle Grayskull. I need it visually transplanted from the thing.
Oh, I think we're gonna get it. I mean, they did it here. It's just that it's a picture.
They did a decent job, but you're right, because it's not an actual physical, tangible thing that I can reach out to the screen and pretend to touch, which I obviously can't. I was going to do a motion, but it would have looked very inappropriate, so I'm not going to do that. But you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So yeah, just like this film is so criticized because of the lack of Eternia and the lack of this and that. But when you realize that, look, it was coming from Canon, and as they started production, their budget got slashed for Superman 4. Again, which begs the question, where the hell did that money go? Because if you look at Superman 4, have you seen the flying in that movie?
I mean, they only had, so much money dispersed between them, so it makes sense.
But it's like, yeah, I would have rather, if you'd given me an option, I would have rather not had Superman 4 and had a Motu with an Eternia.
I think Canon feels that way too in retrospect.
It's too late now. So, like I said, with all its, like, I like like we called it aping Star Wars.
That's what it is.
It looked like that was some of the coolest stuff. Like He-Man's armor, I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
He-Man doesn't have a cape in the cartoon, but I don't care. He looked cool with a cape.
I kind of wish he always had a cape. After watching the movie, like I was like, okay, the cape looks awesome.
At the end of Revolution, they had to transfer the cape. I want that figure. Where's that figure, damn it? I want to buy it.
They're making everything but that figure.
Yeah, well, as is the way, right?
Mm-hmm. Looking at you, Todd.
Yeah. But so, like, there's so much. Like, do I ultimately wish that there were more? Like when the part where Skeletor sends that early armada to sort of find the key, the cosmic key, it had Beastman,
Karg, and Blade. Yeah. I forget the creature thing's name.
Do I wish more of them, aside from Beastman, were actual characters from the lore? Sure. Would have made it a little bit cooler.
I like the ones that they used. I like the ones they created, actually. I really liked the creature, even though I don't remember his name, and Karg.
The reptilian?
Yeah, the one that looks like Reptile from Mortal Kombat.
Who could have been basically there's a character from the mythology that
He looks similar to somebody. I forgot the character's name, though.
Yeah, but it could have been. But either way,
I like those guys. I think they're cool.
They look cool. Yeah. I mean, having the names of the characters from the animation, all it would have changed was they have the names of the characters from the animation. If they had done the exact same thing, it really doesn't change the core essential element of the plot.
No.
So that's why it didn't bother again. But also, I guess when I was watching the movie, I was just happy to see He-Man in live action at that point. That I didn't get as mad as a lot of people are with this movie. I think they were on. Does the 41-year-old me say, man, I wish I would have seen Wildcat? I wish I would have seen Oracle? Yeah, it's 41-year-old me, having seen everything else, and, with hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
But 4-year-old me, 5-year-old me, it was He-Man on the screen as a real person. I was happy.
I'm still happy.
I miss those days. No, I like this movie for what it is.
This movie kickstarted my interest in Master of the Universe, though. It's always going to be golden to me.
Yeah, it's like I said, the plot is for the most part pretty authentic to a Masters of the Universe plotline.
Mm-hmm.
Skeletor trying to gain access into the castle, which he does, or into the palace, which he does, and then usurp the power within the castle and from the sorceress. Like, that was in the cartoon, that was in the movie.
It was also kind of the plot of Revelations.
Yeah. But that's Skeletor's thing.
That's what he does, yeah. That's kind of the...
He's doing that, he's Skeletor.
The Joker makes people laugh till they die. Skeletor just wants to be the king.
Trying to discredit Superman as an alien that any day now is going to go crazy and use his powers against you. That's his thing. That's your thing. You know,
it's the core villain plan. You know, it's what he does.
Yeah, so I even liked the cosmic key. I thought it was a cool looking device.
I wanted one of those.
It's like the melody that it played. I'm like, catchy.
It is catchy.
Wouldn't it have been cool had it have been the theme song from the 87 or from the 80s 83, 84 cartoon? It would have been cooler.
I didn't even consider that. That would have been fun. But I don't think we weren't ready for that at the time.
But the rights issues, I think it was like you're saying, they couldn't use Oracle, they couldn't use, so there were rights issues that kind of
rights issues and also budgetary stuff. I mean, because in hindsight, like if they needed to pay an extra $10,000 or something to use the song, there was no way they were going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, I like I said, to me, that opening battle with before they disappeared Earth, that was in the throne room, I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He-Man getting captured, which was interesting. Well, he willingly gave himself over.
Yeah.
But then getting whipped by Blade.
What a lightsaber whip.
Yeah. Again, Star Wars. But I don't remember as a kid, watching that back in the day, in the day. I didn't think to that point I had ever seen He-Man in that much peril.
Mm-hmm.
He just usually never was. So that was new. That was unique. And that cemented the idea that Skeletor, this guy's a badass villain. Like he's a serious threat.
That's a good thing about his performance. Like you never doubt his credibility at any point in the film. I think it's because the way they it starts with the introduction, that Darth Vader-like introduction. They really set the tone that this is not someone to mess with. Plus, he looks like a skeleton. So.
Yeah, I mean Skeletor.
When you see a talking skeleton, you don't really say, "Oh, that guy looks fun."
Yeah, it's okay. This guy is a something to be concerned about.
Yeah. I don't want to go eat with that guy. Catch lunch.
Well, again, I mean, we've talked about the Earth stuff being mundane, and so what did you make of the Earth character aside from the one that you liked, which was the cop?
Yeah, I like the cop. This is where it gets murky for me. I don't hate Kevin and Julie.
Yeah.
But I don't like them. I think that they are very much 80s kids just to be there. Like John Hughes visited the set one day and said, "Hey, use these guys." Yeah. That's what it felt like. And I think Julie is too gullible for life. Because like that scene when Evelyn becomes her mother, it's like, that's how people get kids to jump in vans.
Yeah.
That was really weird. Like, you really believed your mother was alive because she was doing secret business? What is this?
What?
It's like they're showing that she's an 18-year-old person. She's not like a 14-year-old. She's like 18 because she's graduating high school.
I'm assuming too that, okay, your parents died. There must have been a funeral.
Well, I mean, it was a plane crash, which is a whole other bizarre thing. How much money do these people have to have their own plane?
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, were there no bodies? Like, were they...
You visited the grave.
For you to believe that there's a chance that they're alive.
And I think up until that point, I actually didn't mind Julie.
Yeah.
But that scene, like, I love it, and I love it because of Evelyn. I hate because of how stupid Julie is.
Yeah.
And Kevin just, I didn't like him at all. Yeah, Kevin, I really don't like. Julie, I like for the most part. Kevin, I could.
Yeah, it's Courtney Cox.
Yeah, it's Courtney Cox. But Beastman could have beheaded Kevin, and I would have been fine.
Yeah, that would. I mean, because they try to make him some hero. Okay, you're good with music. That's the only thing we needed you for.
And even that happens so late. It's like, Where were you the rest of the time they needed to remember these tones, bud?
Yeah. So his character was totally pointless.
And over the top. He's very over the top.
Yeah. Of all people, who saves Julie most of the time? The first time it's He-Man, right?
Yeah.
And then the second time it's ultimately the Sorceress, because her power is able to heal.
Which, that's one of the things, like, I remembered. I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. It's been years. But the thing that I always remember is her leg wound, because I always thought it was so gross.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's kind
interesting.
of disturbing.
Yeah, but the other characters are a mixed bag. Like like I said, I don't like Kevin. I mostly like Julie. I just think that they made her oddly childlike, despite the fact that she's getting ready to leave and move to New York City on her own.
Good luck with that. If you think your parents are still alive,
Right? Like, you're not gonna make it, sweetheart.
New York is to be good.
You're not gonna make it on that subway, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
She'll think one of the rats is her parents.
Right? It spoke to me. It said it was Dad. No, honey.
What? Actually, I would like to see that team up movie, but I digress.
Ratatouille.
No, that's the universe of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. Well, it's in comics. But if the rat calls you honey, it did not. I promise you.
Exactly. So that was a little awkward. I also thought it was really funny that the whatever his name is, the cop.
Lubick.
Yeah, Lubick. Decides, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it because it's so dumb. Like, they don't even like Lubick. Lubick has not showed any sense of friendliness to them. And then at the end, like, hey, buddy, you staying? Yeah!
And he's going to open. And I'm like, this woman going to
And I think they've been there for like 6 hours.
She disappeared. Like, the sorceress gave her to him. I said, thank you for assisting in the battle. Here's the girlfriend.
Here is a woman in a toga. It's just a bizarre ending.
Only in the 80s could this happen.
Only, if you think about it, Lubick made the whole movie harder for every character. If Lubick would have just left them alone, it would have been a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what else is kind of stupid? Now I'm thinking about the dumber stuff, and I'm not picking on the movie. I'm just dumb stuff.
It is what it is.
Why does Julie call her own house to find Kevin? Like, that was her first phone call.
Convenient.
It's so stupid.
Like, what'd you call this? The record shop?
Yeah. Why did you call Charlie?
That's the first place I'd look if I was looking for that guy.
No, I'm going to call my own house that he conveniently just knows how to get into.
Yeah, it was like so. It was such a contrived thing, but yeah.
80s plot.
And I gotta be honest, I will say that chicken made me, those ribs made me hungry.
That's one of my favorite scenes when Thor uses the grappling hook to steal the bucket.
I would have done that too.
I love that scene. I was gonna share.
But I did, like I said, I did like the choice of the third act battle. The one-on-one sword fight between Skeletor and He-Man. And again, there was a great balance in that action scene of having He-Man win because he has to, but also keeping Skeletor looking like a viable threat. Like, there were times in that fight that Skeletor could have had him.
Skeletor looks strong, and also the costume change. It's a little awkward at first, I think, but once he starts moving in it, and you can see how that helmet changes his silhouette, it's like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Because he's powered up, right? He
has the power, yeah.
Yeah.
But the way, you said that it was because of a budget reason, but I love that it's in the dark because it just looks cool. It reminds me of Star Wars. It reminds me of the Empire Strikes Back.
There's enough lighting there that
It makes it more epic or something in a way because it's just the two of them. Like nothing else is in the room while they're fighting. I don't know if you noticed that. Everybody's cleared out.
They couldn't have anything else in the room.
Right. Like they're in their own realm magically while they're fighting, and it's so cool.
It works.
Mm-hmm. Works to their advantage. I thought it was like I said. I thought it was a design choice all this time.
Well, now you know that it wasn't, but it still worked, so it was good.
I'm still going to think it was a design choice.
And good on the director for standing his ground on something and finishing it off. Also, it's fun to know that before the MCU made mid-credit scenes cool, this movie had one, and it was Skeletor saying, "I will return," or "I'll be back."
I wish he would have.
And I'm still, well, I won't have to wait much longer. It'll be a different Skeletor, but up until the new Masters of the Universe film started filming, I'm still waiting.
Did you have a problem with He-Man using a gun so often? Like, he doesn't really use the sword a lot.
Because
that's something I noticed on this rewatch.
I'd say, like, given the context of what we were dealing with, no. Is it something I let him do now? Also, no. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But back then,
it just kind of stuck out to me.
It is a little weird to see him using one. But again, in the context of what this movie is, I'm okay with it.
Well,
but
plus again, Star Wars.
Yeah. But again, it's not something I want to see him do in the 2025 version, if at all possible.
Yeah, I would prefer he does not pick up a gun. Leave it to Man at Arms.
The other positive thing I want to mention before we go ahead and kind of rate this and wrap it up. I really like the score for this film. Bill Cosby's music is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have the soundtrack. I bought it when it was released a couple years ago.
Oh, nice.
And it's really cool.
The main theme to me kind of reminds me of Superman, and I love the Williams Superman theme.
Yeah, well, it's
well, yeah, everybody does. Yeah, I like that it kind of takes some cues from that.
Yeah.
And I think what this was really, for me, and I think for you too, there's more positives than negatives, because even like the dumber stuff, I don't really mind it. I just kind of take it.
We just got to put it in the context of the where we were at the time, budgetary constraints. Overall, I think everyone involved did the best that they could.
Yeah.
And they gave us a decent, solid Masters of the Universe film.
Yeah, and I think that it's enough to kickstart anybody's fandom into it because it's fun. Like we said, the characters are pretty good, except for like Tila, who could have been better. The human characters are not human. The Earth characters are what they are.
Yeah. But overall,
it's a good time.
Fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Cool action. I love the high school scene when she's running from them.
Yeah.
I always thought that was really cool, and the way Blade like puts the swords in.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
And also when He-Man, saves Julie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, everything will be like that naivety of don't worry, I've got you, everything's gonna be okay. And even when they first land on Earth and they're discussing once they get back on the turn, He-Man's giving this plan of attack, and it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And Man at Arms is like, you expect us to just go through, hundreds of soldiers, and he's like, yeah, and it's like just that naivete, that simplicity. It was very true to He-Man.
It kept it very simple.
Yeah.
And I love the ending. So I think the idea that they kind of redo time was really clever for two reasons. One, Julie would not have survived in New York City, so that's good. Two, I just think that it was a neat thing to go back and fix that for her.
Yeah, that was cool. And you let it go in the sense that, well, if anybody could do that, it would be Rodor and the people.
Yeah, I don't even question the specific. I don't care. I just like it.
Yeah. Like, that's more plausible that it's like a magic mumbo jumbo, as opposed to, oh, Superman's gonna fly backwards and rotate the, like, I
Yeah,
can
no.
believe this far more than I can believe that.
I believe this more than her calling her own house to find Kevin.
Oh, there's, yeah.
I believe this ending more than that.
Note to self, next time I'm in trouble, call my empty house and see what happens.
Kevin's gotta be there.
Oh, God. If they only had a cell phone. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. This movie, to me, it's still a lot of fun to rewatch.
Mhm.
It does stoke the Masters of the Universe fandom, though. It got me even more excited for the new one that's going to come. Like, at the end of the day, after I finished watching it, I'm like, that was fun. And now I'm even more excited about what we're going to get.
I have been on a Masters of the Universe high the last couple of weeks. And so this, like, yeah, it just kickstarted even more for me. I want to see more pictures of the movie. At this point, I will take set pictures. I just want to see stuff.
So should we go ahead and give it a letter grade?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to give it, though. Do you have yours already?
I really don't have a letter. It's hard with this kind of, because you can acknowledge all the problems.
Yeah.
But so I say we just leave it and say, we had a blast with it. It's still a lot of fun, and it reinvigorates or it revives. Every time you watch it, it stokes the fires for the Masters of the Universe fandom, and that's all you can ask.
And even when it brings back that little piece of childhood excitement to it, I think, every time I watch this movie.
It brings it back to a not so cynical time where, oh my God, is this exactly like the source material? No, but I didn't care.
It's that comforting nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
I can't put it like you say. I think you put it pretty well there. I love this movie. So
it's a ton of fun, and I look forward to rewatching it down the road. Again.
I'll probably watch it before the new one.
Yeah, before the new one, I'll probably revisit. So, but it was fun to look back at it and discuss the first time that He-Man and Friends graced the silver screen in a live action setting. But that'll do it for this episode. We will of course be back, I'm sure, in relatively short order with some more news, some more pictures, and of course we'll have our dissection of those for you when we have them. But if you want to continue talking Masters of the Universe with us on social media, you can. Chris, where do they find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, which I will try to use the latter more, at thatchris70. I do a bunch of different stuff. You could find it there.
Yeah, for me, it's at Adam_leafsfan on Twitter. I do have a Blue Sky, which I will link in the description below. You can follow me there. We have the Facebook group, and you can there will be a link to that as well. You can follow me there, or click the link, and I will add you to the group. We can discuss there if you so choose. But that's the places you can track me down to talk Masters of the Universe. But until next time, we hope you enjoyed this look back and at Masters of the Universe 1987. And we'll be back soon with more Masters of the Universe. But for now, that's all, and good journey.